G'day legends, and thanks for tuning in. This week's video, back on the Barra C1100, and what I want to do is I want to get the final repairs and modifications sorted out on the front sheet metal, get the inner guards, the outer guards, and the radiator supported out and prep for paint. So do yourself a favour, grab your cup or your coldie, kick back, relax, and enjoy the video. So this is what we're working with. Like I was saying, I've got some modifications and some repairs left to do on this front sheet metal. One of which being the radiator support. I made this little fill-in panel because this is where the radiator is normally living on an International, but because I'm running the Falcon radiator, it's a lot smaller and tucked down. So made that fill-in panel. So that's got to be fully final welded, blended out. The inner guard, the left-hand inner guard got modified for the intake as well. The filter's going to live on the underside of the guard, so I've got to finish fully welding that out, blend it in. There's some repairs got to be made to the inner guards where they mount. They're a little bit crusty, so we've got to fix some of that. And the radiator, where the Falcon radiator mounts to the factory inner radiator support, that's not final welded either, so I've got to get some of that sorted. So yeah, we'll finish rip the radiator out and rip the bits off the inner guards and get stuck into the rest of these repairs, eh? So let's get into it. Rightio, so I'm 0 for 14 trying to get these bolts out. All the captive nuts are spinning, not one bolt wants to come out. You're going to have to resort to violence. We're just going to have to cut all these bolts off, and obviously, yeah, we'll replace it all anyway. So, yep, violence it is. As you've seen there before, I got those front guards separated from the radiator support, and I'm moving my attention to the radiator support. Like I said, I'm going to clean this up and get these pieces fully welded in, blend them back. Then I'm going to move my attention to the bottom. This is how these radiator supports mount from the factory in the Internationals. They all collect dirt in here and just rust out. This isn't how I'm mounting these on my truck, so I mount them to the side there, to the bumper bar brackets on the Holden chassis. So instead of trying to repair all this, what I'll end up doing is cut it off and then put a piece of steel to cap it and make it structurally strong again. So we'll delete that part and remake it. And then, like I was saying earlier about the radiator support for the Falcon radiator, it's welded on there at the minute, but it needs reinforcing. So we'll start with welding or cleaning up that top section, get that welded out, yeah, and remove that lower section and move on to the radiator support, eh? So I got this brace fully welded in to the radiator support. I went ahead and knocked up some little braces here to make this thing a whole lot stiffer. So got them sitting there. Gonna go ahead, get them buzzed in, and then we'll probably move on to knocking this old radiator support mount on, and putting that new piece in, getting that sorted out, eh? Just seen, I've got the Falcon radiator lower support welded to the International radiator support. That's all done. Obviously I've got to blend it in yet. I've gone ahead and marked the International radiator support, the bottom part there. This is what I'm going to get rid of. Once I've got it cut off, I'll measure up. I've got some plate out there, make a blank off plate, and stitch it back into there. Get all that welded out and ground down, and move on to the next job, eh? So like I was saying before, this lower section of the radiator support panel on the Internationals just absolutely rust out. They catch all the dirt and moisture, and that's exactly what you deal with. So when you're trying to restore these things, this is super hard to find a good one. You can see she just see through so bad. But with what I'm doing on the Holden chassis, like I said, I don't have to deal with that mounted on the side. So I end up cutting out a piece of flat out of a panel over there. I made it, cut it to fit, trimmed it up, so I'll go ahead, get that welded in, grind it up, and we'll move on to the next defect, eh? Alrighty, so I've got the radiator support buttoned up for now. Before I go to paint that thing in primer, I'll probably give it a few more little touch-ups, but majority of the work's done on that now. So what I was going to do is move on to the inner guards. Like I say, I've got to finish the intake hose that passes through the inner guard. Get all that welded up. I've got a heap of holes that are no longer used on this thing. There's a vacuum tank and all sorts of stuff here. So I've got to take care of all those little holes, and also, that's a new bracket for the header tank. But where these things mount to the mudguard are, really bad. This one's not too bad. It's got a couple of holes in it. But this one here is really chewy, so I'm going to have to work out what I'm going to do, whether or not I put a couple of patches on it or, cut that whole strip off and repair it. But like I said, for now, I'm just going to finish off filling these holes up, doing that intake tube and the header tank bracket, get all that sorted, and then we'll look into the repairs for the guard mounts. Rightio legends, it's that time of day. I got to shut it down, got to stop making noise. I did manage to get all the holes filled in on these inner guards. I did start repairing this edge on this really bad one. I think I'm going to get away with it. I used the old brush trick. Not the greatest, but this is all hidden by the mud guard anyway, so I think we're going to get away with it. These are going to be painted in the sound deadener as well, so they're going to have that sort of textured look about them. So I'm going to go ahead, yeah, shut down for the day. Tomorrow I'll get all these welds sanded down, smoothed out. So yeah, we'll get in tomorrow. Rightio legends, so it's the next day, and like I was saying yesterday, I'm pretty sure I got all the weld repairs done on these inner guards. So what I'm going to do is go ahead with the sanding disc on the grinder and get all these welds knocked back, smoothed out. Once I'm happy with that, everything's squared away with that, I'll get the stripping disc on, get rid of all the daggy crap off these things, any of the bare metal stuff, I'll touch up with some primer. Then once all that's dried, go ahead with the anti-chip coating and yeah, get these things painted inside and out and yeah, get them drying, eh? So let's get into the grinding work. So as you can see, I managed to get these inner guards in primer. I got all the bare metal taken care of with that etch primer. I went ahead and sprayed the underside, and you can see real well, but yeah, the underside of these things are painted in the anti-chip coating. So it's got these cleaned off, gonna hit the top side, and yeah, hopefully they come up a treat. They're looking the part, so I'll yeah, fire up the compressor and get the top side of these done, eh? Rightio legends, so as you can see, I got it done. Inner guards are in that stone guard, stone chip, whatever you want to call that stuff. They're going to dry off and look a treat. I put plenty on them, so yeah, it's going to give a really nice finish. Like you saw before, got the radiator support, that's all buttoned up, the inner guards are done. So the front sheet metal, all the repairs and mods are basically done on it. They're gonna, next time, I'm gonna set up the spray booth. I want everything sort of to do all at once. Gonna do the bonnet, the guards, radiator support, all that jazz. So I'm not gonna bother with, yeah, priming and painting them just yet. I'll leave that for another video. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do us a favor, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one.